What is your favorite WCA event?
FMC.
Yeah, first is Luke with an average of 576. Winning of Washtenaw Qualifier 2023.
And we are on our way to the competition. I am super excited for this.
It's gonna be a long drive, but it'll be fun.
Yes. So today we are competing in Megaminx, Square 1, 6x6, and possibly 7x7, but I hope I got out of that.
Hope I get clock.
Oh yeah, clock as well, of course, that's the most important.
7x7.
Okay, so we all just arrived at the competition venue. As you can see, it's a pretty nice place. And our first event is 6x6, but that's right after lunch, so we still have some time. I was actually really happy with how 6x6 went for me. I didn't even expect to make time limit of 6 minutes, but instead I got my first ever sub 5 in comp with a time of 4:43, so I was very pleased with that.
I am not happy at all with how 6x6 went for me. I had been getting 4s the entire beginning of the day, but when I went to actually compete, I got a 5:04, which wasn't even PR, so I'm very unhappy.
I wasn't too upset with how Megaminx went. My first solve was a 229, so I wasn't happy with that, but it was fine. My second solve was a 207, and it wasn't quite PR, but overall I was pretty satisfied with how I did. Overall, I was really disappointed with how I did for Megaminx because I got a 148 and a 147 for my two solves, and cutoff was 145, which kind of sucks, but whatever.
I'm also disappointed with how Mega went for me. I got a 211 and a 216, which neither are PRs, and in general they just did not feel like good solves, so I'm not really happy with it.
For me, clock was very interesting. My first solve was a 30-second DNF, and I don't even know what happened there. But my second solve was a 21, and cutoff was 20, so I didn't quite make cutoff, but I don't care much about clock, so it was fine.
For me, clock did not go how I wanted. The first solve ended up being a DNF because my clock was actually put together wrong, so I had to go put it back together the right way. And then the rest of my solves weren't great. The 11-second solve I had, though, I was very happy with. Without the DNF, it probably would have been a better average, but I don't really care.
Similarly to Megaminx and clock, Square 1 didn't go too poorly for me. My first solve was a 52, which is about what I average, and then my second solve was a 55. Unfortunately, parity took me forever, and I might have been able to make cutoff without it, but overall, I'm not too upset.
I don't know what to say about how Square 1 went for me. It went really good and really bad at the same time. I got a 42, which was under time limit, but the middle layer of my Square 1 was misaligned, which means it was a DNF and I didn't get an average, which is super frustrating. 42.
Square 1 went actually really good for me. I got a sub 40 average, which normally doesn't even happen outside of competition on really good days. So yeah, I feel really good about it.
So I think today went pretty well for all of us, or at least as good as we hoped. And overall, it was a fun day. And we are on our way to the competition.
So today we are doing 2x2, 3x3, 4x4, 5x5, Pyraminx, and Skewb. So we have a lot of events today, and we are hoping to have a lot of PR.
I'm not too disappointed with how 2x2 went for me. I had one sub-4 single, which I'm pretty happy with, but it could have been a lot better if I didn't lock up. And I had a sub-5 average, which is also not bad.
2x2 didn't go too poorly for me. I had a 442 average and a 349 single. I was going for a sub-4 average, but that didn't happen, but it was fine. I also DNF'd my last solve, but luckily that was my only DNF, and I didn't really have another bad solve, so it didn't matter.
2x2 went fairly good for me. I got a 444 for my best single and a 518 average, which was pretty average for me, considering I don't really practice it all that much.
4x4 could have gone better for me, but I suppose it also could have gone worse. My first solve was a 121, which was miserable. I don't know what happened there, but I did manage to get a single of 54.49 seconds and an average of 104.28, which I was satisfied with.
So 4x4 went really good for me. I got a best single of 105 and an average of 112, and I averaged like about 120, I'd say, at home, so pretty good.
I am very surprised but happy with how 4x4 went. I surprisingly got a 47-second single, which is my overall PR, and a 58-second average, which is not the best I've ever had, but very good.
That's Pete overall PR, best ever.
So, first question. Do you have any tips for people trying to grow their Cuban YouTube channels?
Yes. Is that even a microphone? I don't think.
No, that is a tripod.
Enjoy the making of the videos. Enjoy the process. If you make videos that you enjoy, other people will enjoy them too.
Well said. Okay, now, what is your favorite WCA event?
FMC.
Not expected, but cool. I'm blanking out. What was the... Oh, right. Okay. Do you like getting swarmed by your fans?
It's not bad. I mean, depends on how enclosed the space is, but it's fine.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is SpeedCubeReview. 3x3 could have gone better for me. I suppose it also could have gone worse, though. I had an 1181 single, which I was pretty pleased with, but my average was 1395. I did still make it to the second round, but I was very surprised that I had a sub 14 single based on how bad my other solves were.
The 3x3 first round went pretty good. I got a 1434 average, which is like about what I get at home nowadays, because I just like don't practice all that much. And my best single was a 1069, which was really good.
The first round of 3x3 did not go too great for me. I had only gotten like 2 hours of sleep that night, so my brain was not working. And I got a 1243 single, which is decent, but I do way better at home, so I was hoping to do better. And a 1339 average, which is bad and isn't even a PR, so I was pretty disappointed.
So I actually did pretty well with 5x5, but I wish I could have done a bit better. My single was a 202.51 and cutoff was 2 flat, so I was so close to making cutoff. And then my second solve was a 206, but the real reason I was upset was because Henry made cutoff, and normally I'm better than him at 5x5, so I should have made cutoff too, but whatever.
5x5 actually went similar to 4x4 with how good I did. I got a 156 single, which was, again, my best I've ever had, and I got a 216 average, which was also the best I've ever had. So in general, it went really well.
5x5 was just like whatever. I don't really practice it all that much, so I was just doing it as like another event to like keep my PR streak going. So my best solve was a 234, which like I don't even know what I average anymore at this point, so yeah, it was just whatever.
So I was actually very surprised with how Pyraminx went for me. I ended up with a 6.04 single, which is really good for me. And then I also had a 7.68 average, which was a lot better than I was expecting to do, especially after my first solve, which was a 13.
Pyraminx went pretty good for me. My average was 803, and I averaged like around 9 to 10 seconds, so pretty good. I also got a 530 single, which is really good for me.
Pyra went pretty good. I got a 419 single, which is decent. I got lucky on it though, and a 780 average, which is about average for me. So not disappointed, but not super happy with how it went.
Skewb didn't go too poorly for me, and I was really consistent with all of my solves. I had an 859 average and an 822 single, and my first 4 solves were 8s, and my 5th solve was a 9. So overall, it went pretty well.
Skewb was just whatever. Skewb is just like another event I do not practice at all, so I got a 1024 average and 875 single.
I'm actually pretty surprised and happy with how Skewb went, like my other events. I got a 682 single, which is really good for me, and an 872 average, which is decent, so I'm pretty happy with how it went.
Three by 3 second round didn't go very well for me. My single was only a 1372 and my average was a 1470. Overall, my solves just weren't good.
The 3x3 second round was like basically a carbon replica of first round, except just without the really good single. I got a 1439 average and a 1315 best single.
Second round went a bit better, but still not great. I got a 1235 single, which is better, but still not good, and a 1338 average, which is again better, but still pretty bad. So overall with 3x3, I was disappointed.
Megaminx 3x3. In third place, we have Krish with an average of 799. Second is Stanley, and then first is Luke with an average of 576. And the winner of Washtenaw Qualifier 2023.
No.